Welcome to the Shiproom. You're on the air.
Looks like he needs help.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. All right. So 62% of Austria is covered at the Alps, and for 62% of the next hour, I'm going to be talking with one of Austria's finest. With me today, we have Tassilo Festetics, who is the CIO and Vice President of Anheuser-Busch InBev. Tell us a little bit about the history of this amazing organization.
We're like a company with like a lot of history. So if you trace back some of our brands, they're like 600, 700 years old. Stella is like 1366. If you look at Leff is even older than that. So it's a very historic company. We're not digitally born, obviously. So now we're being totally digitized. So we see the world around us changing. So we started on a journey of digital transformation, but then it started to evolve and go into things like supply chain. Also, supply chain is a very exciting.
I can imagine what your supply chain is like.
It's really exciting because we have around 350, 400 breweries across the world.
I'm passionate about the experience we deliver to our people, and I believe fundamentally that IT right now is in a place where it can impact culture more than ever before, based upon the experience that we deliver to our people.
So I agree with you that this is extremely important because people, well, they use in their private lives, they use a lot of technology and it's very seamless, and they have easy tools to communicate and apps that they work, and if they don't work, they're going to switch for something else.
And then the opportunity, I think if you can just make your workforce 5, 6, 7% more effective, the impact that has on the business all the way to the customers. And so that modern workplace, I think, is just core to organizations being competitive and delighting customers.
If you think about our traditional way of communicating in companies, where you communicate very unilaterally via emails, for example, the amount of speed and collaboration that you lose actually, it's gigantic. It changes really the entire way how your company operates.
So you live and work in New York City right now, and you were in China for 10 years before that, but you grew up speaking German in Austria.
Yes.
Okay, so what I have for you is a few Austrian sayings, and I'm hoping you can read it for us and then give us what a literal translation is and then what it actually means.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so I can't read this, so I'm gonna give you the card here.
Yeah, it says, jetzt haben wir den Salat. So that literally means, now we have the salad. You could interpret this as being something out of a restaurant, but actually what we mean is we're totally screwed. It's very important also to mention that Austrian German and German is very different.
Yeah.
So we are very different people. So Germans are engineers. We are probably less engineers. Du gehst mir auf den Keks. You're walking on my cookie. That means you're really annoying.
Right, one more.
And that means nicht das Gelbe vom Ei. That means literally not the yellow part of the egg, not the yolk. And that means you're not the smartest on the face of the earth.
So I see there's a lot of food references that have to do
There's
with
a lot of, well, you got like the ones with, but we're very passionate about our food.
A couple of years ago, you were interviewed by MIT in a study that was connected with artificial intelligence. And one of the things that they found was you guys had so much data that ingesting and prepping all that data took so much time that you almost couldn't get started.
Data indeed was and is still a problem for us, especially in our case because we've been made out of so many different companies.
Acquisitions.
Yeah, we really plugging that together was at some point really impossible. So we started to build everything as if you start from scratch today. It's really a transformation that takes time and stamina to go through, but at the end of it, you will have really data that is much faster available for everybody.
What are the benefits that you think are going to come from all the work that you're doing around applying AI to that data?
Well, this obviously changes also the life of employees significantly.
It has a culture impact.
Yes, it has a big culture impact and also has a skills impact. In certain cases, you will need new skills. So you can retrain people on different things.
Did you see any reluctance either within the organization or with your team to start to use AI? And how did you, if there was, how did you address it?
I believe that people's jobs are going to be upgraded. So I don't believe the entire hype on like robots.
It's going to put me out of work. No, it's actually going to make you more
No,
effective.
and if you look at history, every time technology came in, actually we created much more work.
Correct.
People's jobs are going to become much more meaningful than they are today. You're going to take out the transactional piece, that is the activity that people are doing every month, exactly the same activity.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I think a lot about, as I think about what the modern desktop is across the world, every organization is doing the same activities in how they think about managing Windows and deploying Office. If I can automate more of that from the cloud with artificial intelligence, I can actually free up a lot of the teams, first of all, to get the best solution to their users, but I can also free up the teams to do things that are more innovative and more strategic.
I read sometimes about companies that don't see where they could use AI or ML. It's so interwoven already into what we are doing that it's nearly everywhere.
Talking about Teams, we're getting a phone call on our Teams phone.
Wow, that's like very new.
Hey, you're on the Shiproom here with Tassilo. Who are we talking to?
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Tiberius Wainsworth with the Society for the Preservation and Advancement of Brewed Spirits and Energy Drinks. I'm a beer historian.
Do you have a question for Tassilo?
As part of my research, I'd like to dive into the ABI back catalog with you. I would like you to tell me which of the following beers are actual Anheuser-Busch InBev products. It's a bit of a challenge, and I call it Brew or False. Shall we? Michelob Winters Bourbon Cask Ale.
I would say Brew, and if it's not a brew, we should brew it, definitely.
Congratulations, you got one right. Wisconsin Cheddar Hard Cider.
Ciders is like a great category. I would say false.
Alas, that one is fake. King Cobra Premium Malt Liquor.
Wow, this is a difficult one because we don't do a lot of liquor. I would say false.
Oh, dear child. Michelob Ultra Fruit Lime Cactus.
I'm not sure if we have cactus yet, so I would say more false.
Macho Muchacho Lager.
I would say false again, but
Bud Light Lime Watermelon Rita.
that's definitely a brew.
Beer lovers rejoice. Actually, I'm quite impressed. Thanks for taking the time, Tassilo. And congrats on your data lake.
Okay, so talking about data lake.
We have started.
Yeah.
So we have started building out a large data lake directly in the cloud. We even have a data swamp and a data lake. So the data swamp is when your data comes in and it's not clean yet, it's in the swamp. Once it gets clean, it's a lake.
Yeah, got it.
We didn't want to build out something that is massive, that will afterwards look for basically a use case, but start with things that have a use case. So we went in with...
Very specific question, a very specific use case.
Exactly, because then you build something organically that grows, and you don't have afterwards something huge that is very hard to manage.
So the advice there is really, as you start to do these, what will become huge projects, start with something that is meaningful, that has a clear business problem that you're trying to solve, have success, and then grow from there.
Yeah, that's also easier so for you to justify investments, because it's a huge investment, and if you would go with like building a huge data lake for all the data that you have, the investment is going to be massive, and you will look for how do I use it afterwards. So we said let's go with things that we really understand what we want to do, and then we grow from there organically.
Do something, get a quick win, you build support, you build energy, and then you grow from there. But I think getting those quick wins that you can then celebrate is core to any project we do.
We're starting to build some things out in the modern workspace, starting mostly with collaboration tools.
Yeah.
Because that's today the most important topic for everybody. And if people are not able to talk, see each other, call each other, be together.
At a higher rate, at a higher speed, with more velocity, more intensity.
And I'm sure you experienced that in the past as well. You had like 5 different conference call lines. You had like different infrastructure for video. You had different structure for phones. You had mobile phones. So it was like a wide array of things that didn't make it very easy for people to collaborate. We went to Office 365.
Correct.
That was great. So today I can sit on my phone, have a video conference with everybody. I can pop documents out of
OneDrive,
OneDrive,
SharePoint.
share them. There's still a process also where people need to identify all the best ways
Correct.
of working with.
It's
with,
not just doing
with-
the same
with
thing you did on
tool.
prem. You got to figure out how you use the new capabilities.
Yeah, and people's their habits have to change, right? Where I
Yeah.
think now you're getting much faster accustomed to this, but it's much more seamless, integrated. You can switch between devices. You can access from any endpoint that you have. So yes, facilitates a lot the way how
that's
people
awesome.
collaborate.
That's fantastic.
That's for sure.
Now, I'm not sure if you knew this, but the whole time we've been talking, there's been an AI analyzing our discussion, and it's come up with 12 questions from our conversation that I'm going to ask you. Now, just to make things a little more interesting, while the clock is running, we're going to use chopsticks here. And as I'm asking the questions, we're going to move marbles from one bowl to another.
Okay, you chose the wrong component here.
Okay, question number 1. Waffles or French toast?
Waffles.
Who's the greater Austrian? Arnold Schwarzenegger or Mozart?
Well, while the one was like, he made it until becoming governor of California, I would say Mozart has still a bigger impact on the world.
Who's the best Baldwin brother?
Who's the best? What?
What's the best place in the
Did
world
you see
by
her?
kite
Did you
surf?
see her? There.
Look at that, look at that. You're trying to not distract me. What's harder to control in an airplane? The yaw or the pitch?
It's not actually so complicated. It's feasible. Do you fly?
No, but we did our homework on you. What kind of water do you prefer? Still, sparkling, or lake?
What is lake? Man, how
year.
did you had less marbles than me, that's for sure.
If Prohibition came back in 2018, what would Anheuser-Busch start making?
We have a great product. It's called the Prohibition Brew.
Well, thank you, Tassilo, for hanging out with us in the Shiproom. And if people wanted to learn more about you or learn more about Anheuser-Busch InBev, where would they go?
They go to our website, they contact us. It should be fairly easy.
Thank you for joining us in the Shiproom here. It's been great to have Tassilo here with us from Anheuser-Busch InBev and hear about the work that they're doing as they're taking advantage of the cloud. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. How does AI change your job?
No, if it would really change my job, you would have just a robot sitting here. Man, I love the Austrian stuff. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
You for sure cheated on this.